What's going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today the Tennessee Titans win again. That's 6 in a row now. Tennessee Titans started the season off 2-2, and since then we have won 6 straight. Now at 8-2, leading the AFC conference in its entirety. So we control our own destiny from here on out if we can just take care of business. And looking at the schedule remaining, looking at our remaining schedule, you got a couple games that are a bit iffy. The Patriots game is going to be a good one. That's probably the most. That's probably the game that I'm most excited about. Is that Patriots game? Probably two of the hottest NFL teams going into that game, assuming that we can handle business against the Texans, and we seem to always make it a game when it doesn't have to be a game. Against Houston, it just never fails. It doesn't matter if they're 0-16 in week 17, or if it's, if they're and we're undefeated. It doesn't matter. We always seem to find a way to make that game a good one. So never take any game for granted, especially seeing last week with the Jaguars pulling that one off against the Bills last week. So any given Sunday, you just still have to come prepared, have a good game plan, have a good scheme, and go out and perform well week in and week out. And the Titans are showing that they can do that week in and week out. Considering the last 6 wins on our schedule, you could probably just only say 5 since the Jaguars the game. They still put up a fight, and we had to earn that win. But other than the Jaguars, the last few teams we played, all playoff teams, obviously except for the Saints. But the Saints, they beat Tom Brady last week, so they aren't a joke either. So the Titans, it felt like we could have taken care of business in this one and put them away early. It was 20-6, and we had a shot to take them out. I think it was like a 3rd down, and they converted, and it was just like, and then they went on to score. They did miss the extra point, which those were big. So shout out to my man. I think, who was it? Johnson. I think it was Johnson. Shout out to him, helping us out, getting a win today. But we're gonna go ahead and talk through the game, some of the key plays, key players, and some of the play calling I'll talk about as well. All right, first drive here. All right, let's go ahead and go ahead and start this thing off. Started off 3 and out. I was kind of scared after the first drive, obviously. Starting out 3 and out, the defense did scare me a little bit. The Saints have a good defense, but we had to get kind of clicking and get going offensively to get going. But when we got going, we were able to put up points. But yeah, starting out 3 and out was kind of scary. But at the end of the day, Titans still won, so it is what it is there. And then we forced them to punt the next drive. Again, they didn't go 3 and out. They did go ahead and punt. It was a 7-play, 19-yard drive. And then the following possession, have to punt again. 3 and out again. So back-to-back 3 and out. And then after watching the defense a little bit, I was kind of confident in our defense, because obviously the Saints they were missing a lot of players today. Obviously the big one in Kamara, but Teron Armstead was out. Obviously Jameis Winston's out for the rest of the year, so they got to rock with Trevor Siemian for the rest of the year. We saw a little bit of Taysom Hill, who is really, really good, unique. I really like Taysom Hill, even though I'm a Titans fan. Taysom Hill is one of my favorite players in the NFL just because how versatile he is. He can literally go from, you saw it today, he can go from throwing the ball to catching a pass. You saw it today, back-to-back plays. I think he threw for a first down, and then the very next play picked up a few yards lined up at tight end. So very versatile. He can even return punts if you wanted him to, return kicks, special teams guy. He can do it all. So Taysom Hill, we saw a little bit of him today, but he didn't have a bad game. You saw him have a pretty explosive run early on, but I think when they brought out Taysom Hill, you don't know what you're going to get. So I feel like the Titans defense did play well when they went into Taysom Hill packages, but Taysom Hill still had a very good game himself. So that following drive after we threw it out, the second possession, it was just punt, 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 punt. 4 punts in a row, both teams. Very slow start to the game, and then we finally got it going on our third drive. A big play. Big player, I should say. Marcus Johnson, what a game. What a hell of a game he had. A lot of catches, just couldn't get it in the end zone. I was really hoping he could get a touchdown today, and he almost got one. He came out about 1.5 yards short, 2 yards short on the little drag route later in the game, but we were able to punch it in. I think it was the Michael Pruitt touchdown drive, so still were able to score points there, but man, I would have loved for him to get a touchdown because he had a great game today. But yeah, following the big 50-yarder from from Tannehill to Marcus Johnson, that set us up for a field goal. Unfortunately, we weren't able to punch it in, but taking a 3-0 lead was fine because I saw the defense was kind of playing pretty well. And that following drive, we give up a touchdown. It's Jackass Jenkins. But Jack Rabbit, he's been playing decent, guys. Other than that touchdown he gave up, what you want to see out of your corners is you don't want to hear their name a lot, because if that's the case, then they're getting the ball thrown to them a lot. So Jack Rabbit, you haven't heard much of him, which is a good sign because the ball had been thrown his way, but kind of did fall asleep on the one play. Kind of fell for the delay corner route, if you will. It was kind of a stalk, and then he worked his way to the corner. I believe it was, let me see here, Tre'Quan Smith. That's right, Tre'Quan Smith. It was basically like a very slow play action. Jack Rabbit fell for the play action, and then Tre'Quan Smith ran a corner. He was pretty wide open, if you ask me. But again, like I said, Jack Rabbit, not playing too bad other than that one play. And then the extra point was missed. Like I said, it was Brian Johnson. That's right, Brian Johnson. Shout out to you helping us out get a win today. But then that following drive, 10 plays, 5-minute drive. Just wanted to get a touchdown on the board, but we just couldn't. 2 red zone trips, 2 field goals to start the game. But again, it's still points on the board, but you still want to have touchdowns. And I felt like we controlled this game from start to finish for the most part until the very end there, where they were trying to tie the game up there, the 2-point conversion. They kind of took over late in the game, but in my opinion, I would have really loved to put them away early. We had chances to do that. We're up 14, and we have a chance to get a stop, get the offense back on the field, and some of the play calling there offensively later on, we're run it, run it twice and throw it, run it twice, throw it. It just doesn't make sense to me why we can't just go under center and run the ball. I don't mind running the ball under center, but going under center, play action on first down. We didn't see much of that today. I think the first play action we saw was in the second quarter, which was kind of frustrating because we either went under center, handed off to Adrian Peterson, or whoever it was in the game, Deontay Foreman, who had a great game as well. Please play Deontay as the starter. Adrian Peterson, he's legendary, great name, big time player, but at the end of the day, Deontay has outperformed him the last 2 games. So I want to see him get the bulk of the carries into next week, and we'll see how he can do against that not so good Texans team next week. So maybe we see a little bit of Peterson too. Obviously we will, but I just want to see how well they can do against that Texans not so good team. But where were we? After the second field goal from Randy, we go ahead and get another stop defensively, and then we follow that drive up with a touchdown, and that one was the sneak by Tannehill in the controversial rough in the passer. It wasn't a rough in the passer, but they did get him back there later in the game with a really, really touchy holding call on Kevin Byard. It was crazy to me how that was a holding call, but again, it was crazy to me how that was a rough in the passer on, couldn't even remember who it was on, but I remember it was nowhere close to his head. Clean hit, in my opinion. And they called a rough in the passer, so that bailed us out a little bit. We were able to punch it in there with Tannehill. That following, I think it was actually 2 plays after that. I think we tried to get Adrian Peterson to the outside. That didn't work, and we just snuck it in. So good job there. And then the end of the half happens after Simeon. They could have scored points there. Simeon took 2 sacks back-to-back. You know, you could throw it away twice there, and you save so much time. But, you know, you had Harold Landry, and then who else had a sack there? I want to say it was Jeffrey Simmons. So Jeffrey had 2 sacks. I don't know if they gave him Jeffrey full credit there, because I think it might have been a half a sack, but they might have gave him full credit. But Big Jeff had 2 sacks today. Harold had a sack, and then also we had Naquan Jones getting his first sack of his career. So that was awesome to see. But yeah, like I said, they could have scored points there. They were in field goal range, got sacked, pushed them back, ran out of timeouts. He took a couple sacks after. I mean, it was kind of crazy to me how Simeon didn't throw the ball away, but we'll take it, I guess. And the following half, biggest play of the game, the kickoff return, and it was who was it? Dylan Cole, is that his name? I didn't know who he was until the fumble. But what a play he made. As you know, that, in my opinion, was the biggest play of the game. I was kind of scared throughout the game that, you know, I think it's Deontay Harris was going to take one back, because that's really, you know, their offense wasn't getting anything going so far. They've only scored 6 points in the first half, you know, and that was kind of their only source, you know, a chance to get, you know, a good return to set them up nicely. So I was very happy special teams wise today. Kern had a few good punts, maybe one decent punt, could have been a little better, but special teams today definitely saved us field position wise, because we had to punt the ball a lot, and I think we did our job pretty well. And then that following drive, we scored a touchdown. That was the Tannehill pass to Michael Pruitt, which, in my opinion, I thought we were going to run a ball, and surprised me. And we threw a little flat route out there to Michael Pruitt. I think we were looking for Aaron Brewer. I think Aaron Brewer, you know, obviously he was an extra guy out there, so he was, you know, eligible to catch a pass. But we decided to not look. We looked his way. It looked like he was trying to get open, but they read it, you know, nicely, and then Michael Pruitt dropped out and caught the ball for a touchdown. So that was a nice little play to put us up 14 following the extra point by Bullock. And in my opinion, we should have put the game away after the punt that following drive. 3 and out, and it's like, gosh, why couldn't we put them away? And then we follow, you know, we go Adrian Peterson, McNichols, and then sack. And I think that was the time where Lawan got hurt, and they had to come, you know, Lamb had to come in there, and he just got bull rushed by Marcus Davenport. That was just embarrassing. But I understand we're up 14 trying to chew the clock, but, you know, there's still a hefty amount of time left. There's 5:11, or I'm sorry, there's 11 minutes left in the third quarter. You can still throw the ball. I understand you're trying to take time off, but, you know, that's still, no matter how much you chew off, there's going to be enough time for them anyway. So I like going under center, play action maybe a little bit, kind of get A.J. Brown involved, which he didn't really get involved in. Like I said, Marcus Johnson, a great game from him. He was about it catching the ball wise, except for that one big one from Deontay Foreman there late in the game. But I'd love to see a, you know, little more play action in this game, because we try to spread them out a little, go a little empty early on. I didn't like that, but we'll see what we do next week. Assuming that's going to be a win, hoping it's going to be a win against the Texans, keep this thing rolling. But, you know, if you look at the remainder of our schedule, man, it's pretty promising. It's pretty promising, especially with us having a game and a half lead in the conference. Controlling our own destiny, having the weakest schedule left. That's promising, really promising. But then after that drive, we go 3 and out, 11 play, 5-minute drive from the Saints. It was a Mark Ingram touchdown run. He broke the Saints record for most rushing yards in the Saints history. So shout out to him. Congratulations to him. But then we follow it up with another 3 and out. It's a Foreman run up the middle. It's a McNichols run for a yard, and it's an incompletion. It's run, pass. It's pretty predictable. So I was kind of, I was like, give me the offensive playbook. Let me go out there and do some stuff. But after that, we're able to get a stop, 3 and out. That was a big stop in my opinion. Then we followed up with an 11-play, 6-minute drive, chewed off some clock. Was wanting, more than 3 there, but we'll take 3 to make it a 2-possession game. And then they followed up with, man, what a defensive stop. They were almost, and if this stop doesn't happen, who knows what happens. But it was like a 7-play goal-to-go scenario. After the holding penalty on Kevin Byard, we stopped them 3 times in a row there. They tried to throw the ball, holding. They got another first down. They got another 3 plays, and then we stopped them again. They forced to kick their 3 points. And what a stop that was for the Titans. And holding them to 3 there was big. Keeping it an 8-point game rather than a 4 or 3, or I should say 5 or 3, because they're going to go for 2 no matter what, try and make it a 3-point game. So that was a big stop there. And then our following drive, take about 2 minutes off. This is when Adrian Peterson looked pretty good. He got 5 yards and he got 6 yards, and he just got drilled by Quan Alexander for a loss of 5. But AP, that kind of shows you what he can do for you. But I'd like to see a little more from him. Still, I really like Deontay. I'm telling you guys, Foreman's been playing really good. The touches he's been getting, and then obviously the next drive, they get the touchdown. It's 3rd and 13, and we can't get a stop. Reminiscent of last year, 3rd and long, and we can't get off the field. Obviously there's a 4-down territory situation there, so obviously it would have been 2 stops there. But Jack Rabbit, that was thrown his way, or was it Chris Jackson? I can't remember, but Chris Jackson had a type of game, so obviously they didn't get the 2-point conversion, then we ended up winning. So it was kind of a slugfest in my opinion. Nothing too exciting that happened, but we were able to get the win nonetheless. So yeah, in my opinion, play of the game, Marcus Johnson. Give him a lot of credit. He had 5 catches today for, I think he had 100 yards. He might have had 100 right on the dot. But with no touchdown, so that was kind of unfortunate. I would love to see him get a touchdown, like I said before. But A.J. Brown, kind of non-factor in this one. Defense still holding us through, carrying us through the game today. Special teams was big. The forced fumble by Dylan Cole, he earned himself a roster spot right there. So, I think we could have put this game away earlier. We let it get a little too close for my comfort towards the end, but nonetheless, we were able to get a win and move on to the Texans next week. Then we play the Patriots in Gillette. That's going to be a good one. I think that's going to be a very good one in my opinion. Mac Jones played great today. He had a hell of a game today. And then we followed that up with a couple of type of games. I think we get the Steelers a little bit later this also. So we go Texans, Patriots, and I can't remember who's after that. I think it's Steelers after that game. And then we go, I think, 49ers, Dolphins, Texans. So I think it's Texans next week, Patriots, Jags, I believe, and then Steelers, and then it goes 49ers, Dolphins. We'll not have a bye. Well, obviously we have a bye somewhere in there. We go 49ers, and then to finish the year off against the Texans. So hopefully we'll have Derrick Henry back, for his annual Houston Texan kicking, but maybe not. Hopefully we get our first round bye and give Henry a little bit more time to rest up, get ready to go. I'm still very optimistic about Derrick Henry. But we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the game, and any thoughts and opinions about the game yourself. Drop them down below in the comments. Any of your game MVPs, drop them down below. Yeah, with that being said, 8-2 feels really, really good. Top of the AFC. It really does feel pretty good. It feels reminiscent to kind of 2008 when we go 13-3 and we lost in the first round. So hopefully that's not the case. But let's keep this thing rolling. Let's try and run the table. I mean, we got a shot. We got a really good shot to run the table. We control our own destiny, so we definitely have a shot at it. So with that being said, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Until next time, I'll see y'all.